Hello and welcome to Mathematics with Simon. I'm Simon. So I just posted a video in which I managed to undo the damage that I did by going on tilt um, with my bullet chess grade on chess.com. And it ended so luckily. I mean, it's very funny. There actually really is luck in chess. Anyway, I will need some luck to basically deal with this game I'm playing against Nigel. And I found a way to lose. I think last time I talked about this, threatening the pawn. Well, here's the news. White can play this. So if you take it, there's a check here. Which, I mean, it's a disaster. Not least because you move it, actually takes that with check. Anyway, we can't have any of that. So what I've decided to do, and I realise this actually might be a bad move, is I'm going to play this, and I'm going to claim that my king is closer to the pawns than the white king. And if I had, I think we've got to swap the rooks here. It wouldn't be normal to swap the rooks here because exchanging the heavy pieces increases the value of the extra pawn. But I think taking the rooks off increases the importance of my king being nearer the centre. So I think this is the only drawing chance. I think I've got to try and catch a pawn before the white king can get to the centre. That's what I'm doing. This one. Okay, how about this? Trying to develop the rook. I think black's quite solid. I mean, I suppose he could take that, right? Okay, let's have a look. I mean, honestly, all these variations, aren't they annoying? Takes, takes, takes. I know you don't actually have to say the word takes, but I think that's all right for black, isn't it? I mean, I think this is all right. What would I do? I suppose you could just put the rook behind the pawn, couldn't you? And just say the game goes on. Would we prefer to put the rook behind the pawn, or would we prefer to swap? Oh, I think we prefer to swap. Come on. Let's just allow it all to swap. I mean, it may be the case that white plays a3, takes, and then we put the rook behind, in which case, fine. Yeah, I'm happy to swap. I think it gives the rook more activity. You know, I know I've said this before, but I think I'm winning. I'm forking 2 pawns. I don't think these pawns are fast enough. And here, I'm going to resign it. It's been really interesting. It's been a lovely game, but there is just no point. You know, as Peter Lecker would say, there's no intrigue because, you know, at the end of the day, black's tunneled through very effectively to the back. And, you know, I've learnt a lot from Horde Coach, right? I enjoy playing chess variants because for me, I was thinking, for me, chess is kind of about learning rather than necessarily, I think this is resignable. It's not even interesting. I mean, how can white even pretend to make progress? Thank you, good game. Does that mean I've resigned? I think it does. It's gone away, right? It was, has it gone away? It was ungraded, so, oh, it's probably gone away. Anyway, it was a good game. Okay, so I looked at a winning attempt here. I've looked at a number of winning attempts. What if we move the king out? Rook takes, and then I put the rook behind the pawn. Well, the answer is that, you know, black just puts the king in front of the pawn, and then I think black's just winning. So this is no good. So why don't we move the rook backwards and forwards until it's a draw? There's nothing else to do. It's just a draw. It's just a draw. Okay, this one. So rook c1. Just stand firm with rook c1. Then Rook takes, knight takes, rook takes, yeah. Are we afraid? Are we afraid of... Maybe we're not even afraid. I mean, maybe we could play rook d1. That's the really ambitious move, isn't it? And then say, well, we're going to take here. The really interesting thing to do is to go rook d1. And then to say, yeah, fine, take, I take, take, take. And what have we got? 2 rooks for 3 minors and 2 outside pass pawns. I mean, I think we're winning that, but the mind does boggle. I mean, basically, that's a sacrifice. Giving us 2 rooks for 3 pieces is a sacrifice. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to play rook a d1 and say, great, do it. Rook a d1. Let's have an interesting mixed material ending. Wow. Okay. Well, well, well. What do you think? Should we put the rook on the open file, get the Ferrari out of the garage and put it on the open road? Rooks are like Ferraris, right? You can't keep them in the garage. It's alright, isn't it? I think it's alright. Game against Liam. Liam, I castle. I had my king. We're all solid, we're all sensible, we're all playing chess like grown-ups. I'm going to take this. I mean, I think this is a sensible try by Gary. I think what he's trying to do is create a pass pawn, and I think he's succeeded in creating a pass pawn, but because there's only 1 pawn left on the board, the game is drawish, but, you know, sensible try. This game against Stuart. So I'm very solid here. Stuart's got more space. I don't think there's a kingside attack because the bishop's covering g5. Could play h6, couldn't we? Could play h6. Could play rook c7. Could play queen, you know, d7. Don't really want to play f6. Although you could, but I don't think I want to. Or f5. How long have I got? 2 days. I'm going to think for a bit longer on that one because it's a critical point, it's a theoretical point, and I don't know what to do. Castle here, right? No, you don't castle here. You play a5. Who knew? a5. Oh, to stop b4. Okay, well, you know, I know what I'm doing. Honestly. I'm not just running the database blindly. Okay, this game we're just in. So here's an obvious variation, right? Check. And then you go, I want a pawn. And then black pushes. And then you go, help. You can't put the queen there because then the pawn goes through. Put the queen there, takes, push, the pawn goes through. If you go here, check, it's all disastrous. I mean, it's completely disastrous. I don't know. I mean, this is over. So, got to be really careful, actually. This fork, it looks tempting to fork and win this pawn. You've got a better endgame, but actually, it's not any good. So what I'm going to do is give the check, but then when the king comes here, just check here. And it's a perpetual. Well, it's not perpetual, but it's got perpetual-like characteristics, but I'm not... You know, at the end of the day, my queen should live here, you know, blockading. But and if the king goes to the back, you just check it again. I think what I'm going to and it's okay if you get the queens off because then you can stop this pawn, although it is a protected pass pawn, so you've got to be a bit careful. I mean, do I want to give a check? What else would you do? Two days and 19 hours, eh? Okay. What else you would do is think. In chess, if in doubt, think. Although I'm gonna play a move against what's his face, against Nick, against Ian, or maybe against Nick too. Not this game though. Okay. Okay, I'm convinced by a4 because it's stopping b5. Okay, I'm convinced by a4. I mean, I get that. And then bishop f8 is just a manoeuvring game, right? I mean, b5 is a serious break. So and you want to stop this break, and you want to stop the b5 break. So I kind of get that move. Okay, fine. I've played this, haven't I? So basically, I made a decision on the game with Ian, and the decision is, um, decision one is find the game. Maybe my account has just resigned it automatically because I know how bad it's going. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. What I looked at is takes here, queen here, and then you don't get mated because of this, or even knight e8. So we kind of okay. What I wanted to do was not take and open up all this risks. What I wanted to do was just put the queen there. But the problem is takes, if you push here hoping for some kind of thing, bishop here is attacking this and attacking this. It's just terrible. So I think you've got to take. I think you've got to take the bishop, and then I think you've got to do something else. You've got to take. It's not a good move. I'm not happy to play it, but I think it's the best move in a bad position. What about this? Wow. Oh, it's this. It's a Sicilian, isn't it? Started with a Sicilian. This is a Wesley So concept. I mean, do we need to defend that pawn? Is there a check? I suppose we're worried about takes, and then takes here, right? Maybe you just play this. We castle, or we play h3. I quite like h3. Although everybody castles, but I think h3 is a better move. The danger is queen e7 check. Okay. Alright. But then if we castle, there's no bishop takes because of queen takes. Knight takes. Queen d3. Protecting here. Knight f6, what's c3? Knight c3. Wow. Okay. We're a whole pawn down though, but I guess we just got so much pressure against against that pawn. Okay, I think it's a good idea to castle. Get the king out of trouble. So Ian, I'm leaving this game. I'm leaving the game with Justin. Right, jolly good. So let's have a look. I know it's wrong to worry about grades the whole time, and this is a bit confessional, but I fixed my bullet grade. They're higher on Lichess, but I think they're just. I think the Lichess grades are slightly higher than the chess.com ones. I don't know. I know obsession with grades is an unhealthy practice. I'm the first to admit that. That's a longer video. All right. I'm playing this. I think it's an equal position. I don't think anyone's got an advantage there. But on some of these pawn games, I have. So here, I think I'm going to recycle the rook to here, where I think it can do useful things on this square or that square. So I'm quite pleased with that. I mean, I think I'm worse here. I think I bungled it, but I don't think it's like awful. I think I've got some counter justice. Okay, I worked out. Last time I said I was drawing here, but I was wrong. All I need to do is break through on the queen side. White can't take here because I just queen a pawn. And there's no time to take here and queen this pawn before I queen that pawn. So all I've got to do is break through on the queen side. And to break through on the queen side, all I've got to do is not allow a4, which I think locks up the queen side. So what I've got to do is play b5 So I'm claiming that b5 is the winning move because it stops a4. That's my claim, and I'm sticking to it. And then I open up a pathway on the queen side, and then I go to the queen side, and if white tries to follow me, I just run that pawn through. Yay! I love it when a plan comes together. And in chess, we need to have plans. Okay, here's a plan. King h6, threatening checkmate. Knight here. Knight here. Oh, it's okay. Knight takes bishop, defending the checkmate. Pawn takes, and then next move. So what's going to happen is knight here, threatening checkmate. Knight takes there, defending the checkmate. Pawn takes, and then there's a mate there that cannot be stopped. I mean, I suppose black can't take there because then it's mate. So black has to play the knight move, then we play the knight move when it's done. This one, 4-pawn attack, your castle. Get the king away into safety in inverted commas with those pawns threatening down the board. This one. It's h3 here, isn't it? This is quite a... Yeah, h3. Knight f1 or b4. Well, they're all good moves. I think h3 is I think h3 is the principled move here. Kicking that bishop. See where it wants to go. This wasn't a hard decision, was it? Unless someone tells me I'm missing something. I think I'm quite pleased with blacks here, and I'm the favourite to win this. I've got 1841, not just 1840. Even though I got mullered by this person in the last game, I got just hammered. Okay, let's see how many games. There's so many games in this line. Let's have a look. 19,810 games in this line. Wow. You can also go knight g8. I won't be doing that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, there probably is something wrong with it, but I'm going here, middle of the board. Centralise. When you can, centralise. I know it can get kicked, but... Okay, that's a uncompromising approach to my London system. I'll try not to be offended by that. Oh, I think I've set it so automatically. Okay, I like this. I think I can go here and stop all the pawn breaks. Well, you can play this pawn break. But then if you don't play that, then I will play this. But then maybe it's a draw, and maybe it's not. Maybe there's a zugzwang and I can step in here. I think I might need 2 zugzwangs to win here, but this is good. It stops g4, it stops this. It doesn't stop this, but... Can't have everything in life, can we? Oh, yeah. So what we do here is we do takes, bishop takes, check, knight moves there, take with check, take. So you take, the bishop takes with check, take, rook here, attacking the bishop, and if necessary there's f5 on the end of it. So what we'll see is, I wonder if my opponent knows all of this. What we'll see is, okay, maybe we'll just do it on a analysis board. I think the general idea is you take here, we're down a piece, check, try to keep the piece, check, there's a joke in there somewhere, pin the bishop, and then, say white did that. I mean, quite apart from the fact you can take here with check, I'm not getting bogged down in that. You can go here, or maybe even bishop f5, although I'm not sure. And I think we're doing pretty well there. I think it's a positional advantage at the very least. So, what did I say? Takes. It's pretty, isn't it? Pretty, pretty, pretty. Why can't you just pin it straight away? You can't just pin it straight away because, after bishop takes. Because of knight here or something, but then you can take that with check. Because of knight here, but then you can play f5. I don't know. Well, we'll have a think about it. It's good to ask why, isn't it? It's one of the most important questions. Should we play the King's Indian Defence? I could play d4, but it allows the Grunfeld. This is what Korchnoi used against Kasparov before he got completely destroyed by Kasparov's King's Indian, unfortunately. Develop a bishop. So let's see, is White going to play c4? I guess that's the big question. Here, don't they play e4 here? I don't really know this line. Should we have a go at it? I think they play e4, yeah. I think it's quite a pretty opening. I want to explore, I want to learn about that. Let's play e4 then. I think when they play d5, you play e5, don't you? Come on, let's have a look at it. Let's try to analyse it more than one ply. d5, and then everyone takes. d4, takes. Is it interesting or is it really dull? Takes. Okay, you take here. Queen takes. Alright, fine. Okay, so that's not the Nimzo. Because the whole point is if you try and play the Nimzo, then you push and then the knight's got nowhere to go. Well, that's certainly not the whole point, but a point. Indian game London system. I want to play b6 here. Well, should we just play b6 and just know that it's right? Or could we just play d5? Know that that's also right. I mean, I've got a pet idea against the London system, which I really enjoy. Everyone needs a pet idea against the London system. d5, e3, c5, c3. This is my pet idea. Bishop d6, bishop g3. This is what they do. Queen c7, knight bd2. Then I want to go, knight c6. Let's just say bishop e2. And I want to play e5. Everything gets swapped off. It's actually been played before, but I developed it for myself, just playing against a lot of London systems, basically, in bullet. Oh, wow. Come on then. We'll play that. Sorry, that was my phone. That was someone making a move. Okay. Queen takes. Knight c3, no? I mean, knight c3 looks pretty likely to me. Ooh, knight f3 is slightly more popular. I don't understand why. I don't understand why, and I'm happy to play knight c3, I think. Okay. Bishop b7. Oh, beautiful Queen's Indian. Beautiful solid opening. It's not got the... Well, it's not usually got the counter-attacking flair of the King's Indian, but it's just solid and sensible. You play castle, you can play d5, you can play c5. I think we want to play what's known as the Karpov Nimzo, don't we? We can play b6. I don't want to play b6. I want a castle, although that's not got good stats. Or I want to play d5 or c5. Oh. Why is castling not a good idea here? It's already flexible. And there's no e4. I'm doing what I want to do. I'm a rebel. It's not that rebellious, isn't it? Just playing the third most popular database move. It's not true rebellion, is it? Don't tell me this is the end. Don't tell me I've made all the moves, have I? No. There are so many moves. No, I haven't. Look, there's this Rossolimo, in which you castle, and then the whole point is if you castle, Then if they go a6, you take, the queen takes, and then you push d4, takes, hits the queen, and we're more developed. So we don't try and save the bishop pair. We just give the bishop pair, but then we have really fast development, which can quickly become critical. Do we take here? The whole point, I think, here is you take on c5. Yeah, everyone takes on c5, all 29 games. And then there's various moves. Various moves. Well, we're a pawn up. Similar structure, actually, to that. We've got the black side in one of our King's Indians. This, look at this. Josh Shigorin. Play e6, and I've got some ideas. I mean, knight b5 is thematic, but there's two ways of defending it. One is the obvious knight a6, the other is the bishop check, and then when they play c3, you pull the bishop back here. I quite like the bishop check, although it's much less common. But I play e6, and if given a chance, I'll probably play a6, which is what I saw Carlsen playing in a Banter Blitz game. Haven't we seen this before? I think our opponents just responded very quickly. What we're going to do here is take, and then we're going to play the Queen's Gambit a second time. We're going to take and play c4. I think there's no reason not to do that. We're just going to try and undermine the centre against Fluffy Cat. I mean, who could want to compete with a Fluffy Cat? Is this it? Have we done it all? Yeah, we've done it all. We're going to have to think about this one, because this guy's a really good player. And by the way, challenging for the whole sort of leadership of the group, we've got a funny old meltdown here, Iron Throne of the Seven Kingdoms, where the lowest graded person has beaten one of the highest graded twice. And so, on current form, it looks like the two of us are going through. I mean, I'm not quite bottom graded, but I'm getting there. Although, I'm not being funny, but this grade is a little bit deceptive. Like, I think I'm more... I've been 2,000 or 2,100 before on chess.com, so I suspect... And that my timed grades are low, so I suspect that's a bit deceptive, that grade. I think putting my games on the internet will help me raise my standard. It focuses the mind. So the thing is, maybe the two of us might go through here. So weird. Anyway, this has all been great. Should we do a tactics problem, and then I'm going to bed because I'm tired? And it's only 10:30. I'm not often doing this at 2 in the morning. Come on, let's do a beautiful tactics problem. Black's move. Wow. That king's a little bit... how can I put this? Okay, how about this for an idea? It's an idea that I like. Knight check on c5. That's going to lead to the king adjourning to a8. And then is there a knight check here? Does that win? Must do, mustn't it? It must do. So the knight check on c5. Where else can the king go? The king could go to c7, but then surely there's a rook check on c8. I really like this knight check, and I believe it's going to win. Okay, and now what? So now, what I thought of doing was playing bishop c8, but I don't think that's right, because look, the king... What you've got to be careful of is the king can take on a7. So what that would suggest is that knight c6 is the order of the day, hence defending a7. It's winning, isn't it? That's the whole point. And then you could play queen b7, but, you know, queen b8, but no big deal. This is the move. Oh, yeah. Feels beautiful. Checkmate. Look after yourselves. See you all soon.